Hello and welcome to ET Garage. I'm Eugene Tordo, and today's video is about the Corvette again, and it is up and running. Yeah, motor's in, it's up and running, and got it all broken in, more or less, initial break-in anyway. I got to get at least 500 miles on it, and then change the oil, filter, all that good stuff. But I'm having a hard time doing that right now because when I took it out for a test drive, I got about, I don't know, 5 miles maybe. And the power booster went out on me. Yeah, that figures. Yeah, no power brakes. I am tempted to take it out and drive it without the power brakes. But if you ever driven one of these without power brakes, it sucks. Yeah, it's horrible. Even with the Wildwood 6-piston Galvers, it's horrible. It's like you have no brakes at all. So I got one of those on order, and hopefully that'll be in. I did have initial problem, and I kept getting a code 42. Now you'll get a code 42 whenever you set your timing. Whenever you set your base timing, you disconnect this wire right here. That's your EST wire, and then when you plug it back in and start it back up, you're going to get code 42, and you just clear that. Well, I cleared that and it came back on, and that was an easy fix. It turns out when I was working all the wires back there with the distributor cap off, knocked one of the wires that go to the HEI module, and even though timing was working, the one timing was working, and there's two different timings. There's reference, and then there's another timing. I'll post it up here. I can't think of the name right now, but one was working, the other wasn't, and I was getting a code 42. So I had to troubleshoot that, and that turned out to be the wire and the distributor. That was an easy fix. These spark plug wires I got a couple of months ago. There's nothing wrong with them. I just don't like them. They're already made up to length, and it doesn't matter how you route them, they just don't route nice. So I'm getting a new set of wires that you can custom cut the length and make your own length, because it's just a lot better that way. Those are nice and easy. You just throw them on, but then it's like none of them ever actually fit right. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And of course, once I do that, I'll get my cover back on. Other than that, if it wasn't for that brake booster, the weather's beautiful this week. If it wasn't for that brake booster, I'd be out driving. But yeah, so far it looks good. I maybe got about, I don't know, ended up putting maybe about 20 miles on it on the fresh motor. So, and I did take a picture of the odometer so I can keep track of how many miles I put on this motor before I pull it again. But, yeah, what else? There is that temperature sensor down there. I had to replace that. The reason I had to replace that is the prong on the one I had broke off. Problem with that one is it's not really the right one. That one reads a lot higher, and where the one I have here, that the prong broke off, reads exactly the same temperature as the ECM reads, or pretty damn close. I did order another one of these, and if you can see what I did on this one is I soldered a wire to where the terminal broke off, and I think I might install this one back in there with the wire soldered on, and this way this terminal sticking out where it's at, whenever you change like a spark plug or do anything down in that area, that prong hits you and pinches your skin, and you end up bending it, and eventually you straighten it out, and then you bend it again and straighten it, and then it breaks off like this one did. So I soldered that on there, and I think I might just go ahead and install this one. In the meantime, I got a new one coming. One other thing I noticed when I was washing the car, after I got it back off the jack stands and running, this fender here is loose. So I need to get under the car and find out what's wrong with that. That's I know there's a rod under there that goes at a 45-degree angle. It could be just the bolt fell off or something like that. This car does have 277,000 miles. Like, this one's nice and solid. That's how that side should be. So that should hopefully be an easy fix. Trying to think what else. Well, that's about it. Once I get that power booster on, I can go out and drive this and give it a good shakedown run on refreshed motor. And it should be up and going, I hope. I'll make a video about the power brake booster and the one that I chose and why when I get it. In the meantime, I think that's it. So maybe I'll get some road trip videos in, because take a break from working on this. Once I get that booster in, that'll probably be it. One thing I want to do, every year I keep saying I'm going to do it, is repaint the underside of this hood. I just can't get myself to do it. I'm not much of a paint and body guy. It's going to be rattle can. Eastwood underhood black is what I'll probably use. I think I got a couple of cans. If I do it, I better order at least one more can. Maybe I'll take this down to Eastwood, down in Pottstown, which is about a couple hour drive from where I live, and get this thing broken in. That'd be a good way to get this broken in. I should probably redo my eBay vinyl wrap. You can see here where it's coming up. If I wanted to get crafty, I could probably patch that, but time to redo that, and time to redo the one on the front too. That's starting to get beat up. I was thinking of doing the whole front clip. If I do, I think I will take that front clip off. I don't know. Do like when you're doing large pieces, especially underneath, you really need two people. So, what do you think? Yeah, I guess that's about it for this video. It's just a short video. Finally went and picked up a new battery today for the lawn tractor. I don't think anybody's interested in that though. I need to get this shop cleaned up. Need to put my Tech 1 away. Also, that's what I'm having. I noticed it doesn't seem like my AC, when you click the AC on, your fan should kick on. And I noticed it ain't doing that. So I'm going to have to look into that. I was able to kick it on with the Tech 1 scanner. And I was able to kick it on by probing the weather pack connectors where they go into the ECM. You can ground out that circuit, and the fan comes on. Both 1 and 2, they're two different circuits. Only other thing I can think of for that is when you turn the AC on, there's this little switch down here. I believe it's that one right there. Like this one here, I think is the low pressure. This one here is the high pressure. I don't know if you can see that. And this one here is the one that turns the fan on when the system makes a certain PSI of pressure. So I'll have to see a factory service manual to get that done, about troubleshooting that. Make sure it's working correctly. So I don't know. I got to yaddle on for one more minute to get the 10 minutes for YouTube, make the YouTube happy. So I got at least another minute. What do you think? Guess I could do. I want to get a few more miles, at least 500 miles on this before I do a leak down test. I could do that. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Oh, coolant. I've been using, I went and refilled the coolant. I went and used this. Pride 500, 50-50 diluted. I always use the 50-50 diluted. Some people say it's a waste of money because you can just add your own water. You get to concentrate it and add your own water. Thing is, when you use the concentrated, you're supposed to add distilled water. Yeah, you're supposed to use distilled water. If you use regular tap water, it's going to have minerals in it, and that's what causes your radiator to corrode and get all blocked up and all that stuff. So whenever you fill your coolant system, always try and use either the pre-50-50 diluted, so this way it's already mixed for you, and that will help keep your system, your cooling system, in better shape. Yeah, this system has, I don't know, like this car has 277,000 miles. I mean, the radiator's not original. I can't even think how many miles on that replacement radiator, but that block, anytime I've had this engine apart, the inside of that block looks like brand new, and that's because I use 50-50 with the which has distilled water. And again, that's about it for this video. Yeah, sorry I didn't have more. That's it. Sorry I want to get this back out on the road and do some driving with it. I could drive it the way it is without the power brake, but that's kind of unsafe. So I'll wait for that. I have seen people where they take that power brake booster off and they convert it to a hydraulic power brake. Some of them used to come on different GM models and some other types of cars, and that's hydraulic, and you run it off the power steering pump. So who knows, maybe I'll look into that. If it's affordable enough, I'll go ahead and do that. So one thing people complain about the C4, it has heavy brakes. It does have heavy brakes. Without the power brake booster, it's really heavy. Maybe I'll look into that, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. Like I said, I wish I had more for you, but Corvette's back on the road, more or less, or at least the motor is in it. So everybody have a great day, and God bless.